Guys, I may have like a unnatural obsession with the Tesla Cybertruck. I've kind of been stalking it, right? Not in like a crazy, like, odd way, I would say, but just I've definitely been stalking the information that's coming, at least from it. I like the fact that it's bulletproof. I'm not sure I'll ever need that, basically, right? But, but also, I also like the fact that it's somewhat a battery pack on wheels. So what I mean by this is, guys, I do a lot of off-roading, and occasionally do some overlanding. And I do think that the Tesla Cybertruck will probably be really good for overlanding, at least, because now you have a solid power source. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do carry like solar powered jackeries and things like that. So I do have the ability to kind of have power regardless of whatever I'm actually driving. But I do like the fact that there are solid plugs in the back, guys. I just like that, right? And the bed is also pretty solid. Guys, I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited. Do I think that it will be able to take over any of my Jeeps? Absolutely not. I don't think that I have to worry about, that at all, guys. I do a lot of rock climbing, so I can't imagine the Tesla doing that unless there is some type of something that we're not hearing, right? As of right now, I would definitely probably put it more into like the overlanding category of off-roading. But all right, listen, so the name of the video is why the Tesla Cybertruck so hard to manufacture. This is coming from a suggestion via Patreon, guys. Let's check it out.
When Tesla unveiled its vision for an electric truck in November 2019, it shocked the world.
Like 100 years, trucks have been basically the same. We want to try something different. So I present to you the Cybertruck.
I'd say, guys, hold on, wait. I'd say more like 60 years. I wouldn't say 100, because those Model T pickups are not really similar at all.
Elon Musk has been hyping the Cybertruck as Tesla's best product ever. And 4 years later, the first deliveries have begun.
It's very rare that a product comes along that is seemingly impossible, that people said was impossible, that experts said was impossible. And this is one of those times.
But getting the truck to market has been challenging. Musk has repeatedly emphasized how difficult building it has been.
The Cybertruck, I've driven the car, it's an amazing product. I do want to emphasize that there will be enormous challenges in reaching volume production and then in making the Cybertruck cash flow positive.
I can imagine it's probably going to be as hectic as the Model X was, guys.
We dug our own grave with Cybertruck.
You're building a stainless steel vehicle, which has really been done hardly ever in the history of the auto industry.
A couple of times.
That alone was going to make it challenging.
Stainless steel is tough to tool for, it's tough to work with, and this is, in some ways, a really giant experiment, which I think the whole industry is watching with some interest.
I think they've signed up for another production hell.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure that the industry is actually watching too hard, because a lot of the other companies are not going to do something as niche as this, like a full, actually thick stainless steel body, guys. I mean, listen, this is absolutely not the first time it's been done. The DeLorean was also stainless steel, but in a different type of levels of thickness, guys. But all right, let's get it. It's not going to be wide scale, like widely used.
So we're able to make the skin out of thick, this ultra hard stainless steel. It's really hard. I'm going to show you just how hard. It's ultra hard, cold rolled stainless steel alloy that we've developed. We're going to be using the same alloy in the Starship rocket and in the Cybertruck.
We really wanted to use stainless steel as a material so that the hardest part of the vehicle was on the outside, not the delicate panes.
Franz von Holzhausen,
That's smart.
chief designer,
Very smart.
said the design of Cybertruck was the direct result of using stainless steel.
You could only break form and form it in one direction. You can't do compound curves with the thickness of the stainless steel that we're using. So it really led us to a design that was really planar, really simplistic, and
Wait a second, guys.
so
Oh no!
you can't do compound curves with the thickness of the stainless steel that we're using.
Of course. body panels are not meeting. I kind of expect most likely for these type of flaws to exist on a vehicle like this, though. So I guess you have to understand expectations. Like, what are your expectations for the vehicle? Like, understand if you're doing something like this in terms of this type of vehicle, you absolutely are going to see, unfortunately, pieces not meeting each other. One of my biggest fears are parts, probably, guys. Imagine you get into an accident with this. You understand that the price of your insurance is most likely going to go up with this vehicle, mainly because the parts themselves are going to be crazy. Like, will you have to replace the majority of the vehicle if you mess up one part?
So it really led us to a design that was really plainer, really simplistic, and it was also a chance to break the paradigm of what pickup trucks have been for the past 60 or 70 years.
The look of the vehicle has been the topic of controversy. Frank Stevenson, who has designed vehicles like the BMW X5 and the updated 2000 Mini Cooper, is skeptical of its simplistic, aggressive design.
So it's very almost an origami style of design. It's angular, it's hard, it's aggressive. It doesn't feel natural when you look at it. So I can only figure it's a view from Mr. Musk that he's looking at a future that isn't a very happy future, more of a bleak look to the future.
Yeah, that's our future.
The Cybertruck was unveiled, it was slated to be delivered in 2021 and be reasonably priced.
There'll be 3 versions, but it's gonna.
Yeah, right.
That's the price without any incentives.
And guys, and looking at the price really quickly. All right, so obviously we know now that the range is not that. We're looking at probably at most 400 if you get the additional battery that you're going to put into like the bed, and the price is much higher. So for like the Cyber Beast version of it, it's almost $100,000, guys. So just keep that in mind. But all right, let's get it.
That's just like the price without any incentives.
Several delays later,
what's the cheapest one cost?
Here, with different specs and pricing.
We saw them roll out several and hand them off to, beaming fan customers who made it down for the event. But the analysts,
influencers,
are trying to get their heads around how much can we expect the company to produce and sell this quarter. Nobody really knows.
In the 4 years since its debut, the Cybertruck has had a long and arduous road to production. Internal documents revealed how delayed.
All right, guys. So the cheapest one is actually not that far off, but with inflation in mind, $49,000, and that's just the base model. That's the base 250 mile range, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. But I don't know why you would want a rear wheel. Well, I guess most pickup trucks are rear wheel drive because the chance of you actually using 4-wheel drive in a pickup truck is not often. I mean, I do in mine. I have a Jeep Gladiator, but I'm normally off-road using it, right? So, I mean, I have a purpose for it. So, I guess the rear-wheel drive would probably be the normal one, guys. But all right.
The development of the truck was in 2020.
No towing capability, though, apparently.
Tesla had planned to have this vehicle start production in 2021. That didn't happen. They have talked about the pandemic and wars that disrupted supply chain and more. That's legitimate, but they were also still working out kinks with how to manufacture this.
When we're reinventing a product, sometimes we have to go through these processes just to prove it out. We had this idea that making an exoskeleton vehicle could work, and so we've been using that time to make sure that that actually is working.
By June of 2022, ELON indicated that design was finally locked.
The design, at least, finally is locked. We got too carried away.
Nearly a year later, Tesla built its first Cybertruck at its Austin Gigafactory.
We got too carried away.
The delays are no surprise. The new truck represents a major deviation from traditional automotive manufacturing processes.
This is more than 90% different, right? So that means you really have to reinvent the process. Actually, they did a great job putting this together in such a short period of time. The automotive industry, traditionally, all the cars, no fundamental difference except stock. The overall platform is essentially the same because they all borrow or learn from the past. So you don't have to reinvent new tooling and new assembly sequence.
So we actually had to come up with a special ultra-strong Tesla-designed steel alloy. This metal did not exist before. We needed something that you could actually manufacture, but have basically no corrosion.
And this is why when you get into an accident, it's gonna cost you a ridiculous amount of money.
Corrosion, didn't need paint, but you can still make it in volume.
I definitely wanted to see some insurance quotes on it.
Our Vice President of Materials Engineering, Charles Kuhlman, works for 2 ELON companies in this capacity. He works for SpaceX and Tesla, and they've collaborated on alloys before.
Steel isn't uncommon in automotive. It's frequently used in panels and frames as part of the vehicle's structure. But Tesla's custom ultra-hard stainless steel could have added some unique challenges.
Stainless steel is hard to work with. It's much, much, much harder than all of the grades of conventional steel, which is what the bulk of vehicles today are made out of, including Tesla's high-volume Model 3 and Model Y.
The presses that they needed were very unique presses, massive presses, and that is where a lot of the money would go. And you can't use these presses forever because they start to wear out.
But for automotive, using complete body panel with a stainless steel is a new concept.
Yeah, and this is what's going to allow the price of that vehicle to pretty much stay as high as it currently is, at least for the Cyber Beast again. But that's honestly the one you probably want. But it's going to be like $2,500 a month.
Stainless steel in automotive has a brief history. Ford experimented with it in a few of its cars, but never put it into production. The DeLorean, first introduced in the mid-1970s and built from 1981 to 1982, was the first mass-produced vehicle with a stainless steel skin.
Yeah, put them out of business, though.
Building fewer than 10,000 cars.
Right.
DeLorean used stainless steel. They at least went to the trouble of using brushed metals, but the fit and finish, they had incredible problems with that as well. And so you would think they would either...
Yeah, the problem here, guys, the DeLorean was way before its time. They tried something, it was cool, it looked great, but bring the DeLorean back right now, it'll work.
Learn from that it's not a good material to use, or they would find a better way to do it.
Tesla's VP of Vehicle Engineering said that Tesla had to invent a manufacturing process called air bending, which shapes the steel with high air pressure without actually touching the surface.
When you bend a piece of metal, you want to maintain certain shape, and the stainless steel tend to be more unpredictable than traditional steel. And if you get into higher strength level, that tend to be amplified.
When they produce the panel, it will actually press it further than where it has to go. The steel will spring back. Sometimes it's this much, sometimes it's that much. So you never know, and that's where you can get these quality issues.
And the thickness, which Musk has used to promote the Cybertruck as bulletproof, only further complicates things.
Typically, automotive body panel for passenger cars, you're talking about in the millimeter range. From the limited information I have, we are talking about for the Cybertruck is a 3 millimeter. That's a factor of 9 in terms of stiffness. So definitely you need a lot more force and bigger press to do it.
The flat and angular design is another issue, especially with regard to mass production.
That form introduced tremendous complexity. One of the criteria I teach in my class is stability. A component has to be able to maintain design geometry upon some disturbance. You don't want those disturbances to introduce variability as you work on it, as you drive the vehicle.
And this is kind of what I'm talking about here, guys. That's my biggest fear, right? Something happens. It's going to mess up the whole vehicle, guys.
Stainless steel is very difficult to work with. When you cut it, all the mistakes basically show up. When you have a flat plane like that, it's really hard to hide the mistakes.
In late August, Elon Musk sent an email to Tesla employees stating, "Due to the nature of Cybertruck, which is made of bright metal with mostly straight edges, any dimensional variation shows up like a sore thumb," and emphasized that all parts for the vehicle need to be designed and built to sub-10 micron accuracy.
Elon has even mentioned that he wants everything to be even better fit and finish than anything else out there on the road. If he achieves the fit and finish level quality of any normal car on Tesla.
Yeah, guys, this is another one where body panels are just not. Like, look at the paneling, guys. right? Then the same thing on the other side. The panel, I mean, all right.
That's up to Elon for managing to do it.
I will literally return mine. I'm telling you.
Tesla has been using gigacasting, a manufacturing technique that creates large single-piece alloy castings that help simplify the construction of its cars. And the Cybertruck is likely to employ the use of it in its construction.
The primary benefit essentially is a cost and parts complexity benefit, right? You can cast a larger proportion of the vehicle at one time, less complexity, less assembly, less cost.
You can ensure uniformity for automotive industry, mass-produced products. That's very critical.
The problem is that if anything goes wrong, even in the manufacturing process, now you have to scrap a huge piece.
There was at one point a photo of an entire parking lot full of failed gigacastings. That's part of the development process, but still.
I mean, are those for sale?
Can they get all of these new and innovative processes up and running simultaneously in volume?
With the Cybertruck finally here, Tesla must now contend with scaling production.
I think we'll end up with roughly 250,000 Cybertrucks a year, but I don't think we're going to reach that output rate next year. We'll probably reach it sometime in 2025. That's my best guess.
This is scaling a type of vehicle that's never really been done before, and several other technologies that likewise.
Guys, and the waiting list on this vehicle is already crazy, right? So everyone that's ordering right now for the 250 or something like that, that's online. I think it's 250. Yeah, guys. Yes, due today, 250, fully refundable. Like, so everyone that's doing this here, by the time the average person sees this vehicle, is probably going to be like 2 more years. And that's why I'm not getting on the list. I'm just going to wait. I'm telling you, I'm just going to wait. Yeah, that means, but in layman terms here, you're going to have a rental for a while, all right? Because most likely they're going to have to put some of these vehicles probably back through the factory to fix them, by the sounds of it, because I don't know how or where you're going to get somebody from like a mom and pop shop or Rich Rebuilds or any of these people here, guys, right? How are they going to fix this, bro? Think about that. How are they going to fix it? They can't. So they're going to have to probably send the vehicles back. This is why I'm absolutely afraid to even hear the insurance price.
The moment you scratch a vehicle.
With the first vehicles in the hands of customers and Cybertrucks debuting in Tesla showrooms, the company appears to be making progress.
I kind of wonder if the combination of extreme design and an extreme and new material to make the vehicle out of, in a new factory with a new workforce, no less, will prove to be a very long-term drag on the company getting itself up to speed.
Even with all of those things stacked against it, it is going to be a kind of iconic vehicle in the sense that nothing else looks like it, and probably will give Tesla some cachet for sure.
This vehicle has the chance to be something really radical in a pretty normal space. And it's incredibly functional. It's not just the way it looks, as functional as any of its competitors, if not more.
I think it's our best product. I think it's the most unique thing on the road. And finally, the future will look like the future.
I mean, guys, that's really strong, though. It's strong. Listen, what they are trying to do is just reinvent the wheel. And I respect them for it. This is kind of why I'm going to involve myself in it when I can. Right? As soon as, trust me, as soon as I can, I will. Because I love the way this thing looks. I love the oddity of it, right? I definitely do hope that we can actually throw some mud tires on it, potentially, right? I mean, both of my off-road vehicles are 37 inches and 44 inches in terms of the tires, right? So if we can actually put some solid, meat on the tires and then do some real off-roading, I'm for it. Absolutely. I'm telling you, I am all in on the concept of doing some off-roading or some mudding in it, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day thoroughly.